Since their championship, he told all the team, especially the young players, don't take anything for granted. You've got to play this like it's your only opportunity to play in the postseason. We need to grind the rest of the way through this postseason.
He had a very good year this season, and he gets hit with the next pitch. Both were inside, and the second one gets him.
Not something you're going to see from Cologne very often. You talk about a strike machine, doesn't walk anybody, starts it off with a double, and he comes back to back with fastballs inside and gets Hunter on the elbow. An auspicious start for Cologne.
Cologne pitched very well down the stretch. As we mentioned, he was 4-0 in his last 4 starts, but he has had trouble with this lineup. The lineup tonight for Detroit is at .324 against him with 7 home runs. Everybody up and down the order has good numbers against Cologne.
2 on, nobody out here for the Tigers in the first. Here's Miguel Cabrera. This is back up the middle into center field, a base hit. Austin Jackson being waved around, and the Tigers will strike first. Just like that, they jump on top 1-0.
Well, everybody's looking fastball. There's no surprise right here, and everybody's worried about what's going to happen with Cabrera. What kind of, is he going to have any power? It doesn't matter. He's a great hitter. He's a fastball right between Cologne's legs for the first RBI up the middle, scores Jackson easily. And I'll tell you, Cologne is in trouble. Nobody expected this.
Yeah, they expect a little better command, and there was a big question mark, of course, about Cabrera. He had 1 home run and 7 RBIs in the month of September, but he's had 4 days off to rest his body.
First and third, nobody out, to run in. Doesn't get any easier as Prince Fielder carves the first pitch foul. The numbers for Fielder, the home runs are down, but still 25 home runs on the year.
Well, Cologne, he's not going to trick anybody. You know, he can get the ball up to what, 95, 96. That's the cross seamer, but for the most part, he throws a lot of 2-seamers right over the top. Ball gets on you.
On the ground to shortstop. Lowry will go to second for 1, on to first for 2. One will score in the back door. Torrey Hunter is in, and the Tigers take a 2-0 lead, but Oakland will take that exchange right there to get the outs.
Absolutely. Early in the ball game, Oakland turned the fewest double plays in their franchise history this season. But Jed Lowry at shortstop has really solidified the inner defense by catching everything he gets to. He doesn't have terrific range, but Cologne will exchange that run for 2 outs, especially so early in the game.
Well, that just stops the bleeding. Whoa, right there.
Here's the Chevrolet pitch tracks, and you look at the amount of fastballs Bartolo Colon throws on average.
Fastballs, but he'll cut them, he'll sink them, he'll ride them upstairs. He throws all his fastballs at different quadrants of the strike zone.
Victor Martinez takes a hack and sends it foul. This is another guy that they're glad to have back this season. Look at this Tigers lineup. You get Torrey Hunter in it now, and you have the return of Victor Martinez, who missed all of last season. An idea of how unusual it was for Torrey Hunter to be hit by Cologne. Cologne didn't hit anybody during the regular season.
You know, you talk about a guy being, you know, relaxed, but I tell you, you can be almost too relaxed, and they're jumping all over him.
Well, too, I think anybody that's playing in this game is excited. No matter how many times you've played in the postseason, your heart's beating a little quicker.
Two down, bases empty here for Martinez. It's up and away, 2-1. I'm gonna look at the landing spot.
Victor Martinez has a lot of experience, obviously, in the postseason, but what a second half he put together. He missed all of last year with knee problems, and the first half of the season, he really doubted whether or not he could drive off that lower half.
He hit .361 after the All-Star break, 100 points higher than he had in the first half.
Terrific hitter, always a clutch hitter. Constantly a threat to driving 100 runs, and Martinez again hitting over 300. He's a career 300 hitter. It's good to see him healthy again.
He being a big difference for them coming into this season. He and Torrey Hunter, but this guy, they missed him last year and still went to the World Series.
And the knee injury last year, missing the entire season. 2-2. Line and just over the outstretched glove of Lowry into left center field and quickly to the track of the wall. Martinez will head to second base and has himself a 2-out double.
It's interesting. We met with Jim Leland before the game, and he said the difference in the second half has been that Victor's settled in. He now knows he can hit with 2 strikes as he does right here. That elevated fastball he stays on, drives it over the glove of Lowry and splits the outfielders and knocks it all the way to the wall.
So Martinez at second base with 2 down brings up Alex Avila. In and out of the lineup throughout the season. Concussion problem that has reoccurred. And talking to Jim Leland before the ball game, he says the cobwebs are finally gone. And his 4-day break has really helped him out as well and get healthy, especially head-wise after the concussion-like symptoms that he's been dealing with all year. As he takes ball 1, just missed.
Cologne's got to get the ball down. I mean, he's pitching up in the strike zone. I don't care who you are, what kind of velocity you have. Seems like a recording. You get guys, good pitchers in the first inning, you can't get settled in, and they've got him in the first inning.
On the ground to the backhand at first is Barton, can't get it, out to second, and Sogard tried to knock it down, couldn't, and coming around to score is Martinez. They're unable to knock that ball down. It's a base hit, and in from second comes Victor Martinez to put the Tigers on top 3-0.
Well, Derek Barton's a pretty good fielder, and he's got a shot at this. And then not only after it goes off his glove, Eric Sogard, the second baseman, he too's got a shot at it. Avila hit it sharply, but Barton's got a chance to make a play right there. It's just under his glove. He's got to make that play, and that allows Martinez to score all the way from second.
Things aren't starting off very well for the Oakland A's. This is an ugly inning.
It is ruled a single and an RBI for Avila that scores Martinez. And here's Omar Infante. Bucky has been one of the quiet, good players on this Tigers team. Kind of gets lost in the shuffle a little bit with all the big names.
Oh, he sure does. And he is a terrific player. His 20th postseason game. And he, too, hit over 300. Jim Leland said this guy flies under the radar because we have so many stars on this team. And he characterized him as being a very good major league player. Not a star, but somebody you can count on every day.
He put together a .318 regular season, double figures in home runs. Swings at the 1-1 and chops it out towards Lowry. He'll go to second for the force out that ends the inning. But a fast start for the Detroit Tigers out to the 3-0 lead. The A's are coming up. How about the start for the Tigers on top 3-0 as the Oakland A's come to bat here in the bottom of the first inning. Batting order is brought to you by T-Mobile. See, smack dab in the middle of that lineup is Brandon Moss, the DH, a .256 average on the season, but .296 since the All-Star break. And Brandon Moss gets his first 30 home run season. Well, Max Scherzer on the mound tonight, and what a season he put together as he comes away with 21 wins on the season.
You're looking at 2013 Cy Young Award winner right there on the mound. What a incredible season. Won his first 13 decisions, was the All-Star starting pitcher for the American League, and it goes on and on and on. He struck out 240 guys. This guy is nasty.
His first pitch to Coco Crisp is called a ball. And Coco Crisp, the table setter for the Oakland A's, at .261 during the regular season. He's got some pop too, 22 home runs.
Well, Coco Crisp is their catalyst. He's the guy that makes them go. He's got to get on base, and he understands right now, being down 3-0, he's got to get this crowd back into the game. This is one of the big assets for this team playing at home, is a raucous crowd, and Coco Crisp knows he's got to get on base.
He sent it foul off to the left out of play. And Max Scherzer did not lose his first game until July. And that was against the Texas Rangers. Began the season 13-0 in his first 18 starts, and of course started the All-Star game as a first-time selection. And many thought perhaps that we may see Justin Verlander get the nod in Game 1, but instead it's Max Scherzer.
Well, that tells you everything. He's on the mound tonight instead of Verlander. That's why tonight is such a big game for Oakland and Cologne. When you know Verlander's waiting for you tomorrow night.
Yeah, that's really bad news. You've got a 1 and a 2, and you could have picked either one of them to start and been in good spot.
Everybody thinks of game 1 starter going in game 5, but it's entirely possible Jim Leland could switch it up with the days off and have Verlander start game 5.
Yeah, he's really in the driver's seat. It depends on how well the pitchers pitch, and whoever has the hot hand will end up pitching a game 5 if needed.
Ball 3, full count.
You see that nasty changeup. Coco will not fish. This Oakland A club is a club that's patient and powerful.
Really changed their approach this year. They became much more selective, and as a result, they became a very productive offensive team.
Chris will strike out looking as he heads to the dugout, and Scherzer strikes him out on the 3-2 pitch.
Scherzer 3-2 pitch. You talk about fastball right down Broadway, about 95 miles an hour. How do you take this pitch?
Try to get another pitch on his mind. He wasn't ready to hit that fastball at all.
One down here in the bottom of the first inning brings up Jed Lowry. Lowry addition to the Oakland A's and has had a very good season. .290 hitter this year for the Athletics with 15 home runs, and key for Lowry this year for the most part was able to stay healthy. First time in his career that he's played more than 97 games. He played in 154 games. Second on the A's only to Josh Donaldson in that category.
He really gave them offense at shortstop, something they didn't have at all last year. Really gave them production, and it was first opportunity to really be an everyday player and stay on the field, and he put up big numbers because of it.
Played 119 games at short, 24 at second base. Most of those coming in the first half of the season.
I'll tell you what, Scherzer is bringing it. The ball looks like it's in the glove. I mean, he's got some hair tonight. I've talked just the opposite of Cologne. Cologne looked flat.
You know, it's not always about the radar gun or the number. It's up there. It's about the finish. And right now, he's got good finish to his fastball.
And you can tell the way the hitters swing.
Yeah.
They're just not picking it up. The ball's on him.
Lowry dribbles it foul.
You know, he's got such an arsenal of pitches. You talk about 95-mile-an-hour fastball, then he turns over that, I don't know what it is. Is it a three-finger screwball or whatever? I don't know if it's a split or a circle change. All I know is it's nasty. It's about 10 miles an hour slower. And he's got a slider, and he tells everybody he throws a curve, but I don't see it that often.
Not that often. You put another pitch in your mind.
Fouled off to the left. 95 from Scherzer again, and it's 2-2.
Now, Scherzer's got the confidence to throw that changeup anytime. He literally will use it back-to-back, and you know when you can throw a changeup back-to-back, it's a great changeup.
If you're going to throw a changeup 3-2, to me, that's when you really have a lot of confidence in it. But you punch out 240 guys, that's what you're doing. You're not just throwing gas all night.
Lowry grounds it right side. Prince Fielder has it as Scherzer will cover for out number 2.
Let's take a look at the defense behind Max Scherzer. Andy Dirks gets the nod tonight. He is a much better defender than Johnny Peralta. They were considering using Peralta, but it's Dirks, Jackson, and Gold Glover Torrey Hunter from left to right in the outfield. On the infield, Miguel Cabrera, of course, his range is limited to begin with, and now he's dealing with a lower body injury. Jose Iglesias has really tightened up the defense at shortstop, and behind the plate, Alex Avila is healthy again. Iglesias was picked up when they knew Johnny Peralta was going to be lost for that 50-game suspension. They made a 3-team trade and ended up with a defensive wizard at short.
What a great deal at the deadline for Dombrowski.
Josh Donaldson hits a 2-hopper out to Iglesias on cue. Throws out Donaldson, and it's a nifty 1-2-3 first inning for Max Scherzer. Tigers lead it by 3. Well, the Tigers have a 3-0 advantage over the Oakland A's. We head to the top of the second inning. Great manager Jim Leland, hired as the Tigers manager on this date, October 4th, 2000. 2005. Won the AL pennant his first season. Was named the 2006 AL Manager of the Year and has now been 3 straight Central Division titles as they win it again. And have had the last 4 days off to get ready for this American League Division Series, and off to the fast start tonight with 3 runs in the first inning on top 3-0 over the A's as they come to bat in the second. And it's really amazing in that Colon had allowed only 10 first inning runs in 30 starts this season. He's given up 3 tonight. And what a fabulous job Dave Dombrowski has done again with the Tigers. They kind of reloaded this last offseason with a couple of new additions to what was already a very potent team that first went to the World Series.
Well, as X said, one of the key additions was Torrey Hunter. And Torrey Hunter reached out to the Tigers in November and said, I want to play for you guys. You got a good club. I love Jim Leland. And sure enough, he signed a 2-year contract.
Andy Dirks strikes out to begin the inning. Colon trying to find his bearings here in the second inning after a rough first inning.
Maybe Colon has found his velocity. Good spot for it, too, down and away. Dirks pulling off.
Remember how Colon in his heyday would come out and just kind of feel for the fastball and not really air it out? It looked to me like that pitch right there says, okay, I've got to reach back for a little extra. He had good finish on that last fastball.
And one down for Jose Iglesias. Prior to this season, known certainly much more for his glove than his bat, but this year put together a solid offensive year between Boston and Detroit, a .303 average. And rookies in that category as he takes a pitch up top.
I just thought it was such a shrewd trade by Dombrowski. You know, he worked that deal, a 3-team deal, right at the last minute. They gave up one of their big prospects, Garcia, but everybody was happy. You know, the Red Sox got Peavy. Needed a nice job for them, so that was a good trade for everyone.
Yeah, and you really have to admire Dombrowski's ability to go out and broker a trade like that. A 3-team trade midseason is tough to do.
Right, and he had to do it in a hurry. And
we've seen
a lot of this year, haven't we?
We sure have. And watch this foul tip. And we were talking to, actually, it wasn't a foul tip, just went off his glove. Iglesias uses that bat and pulls it back, and Vogt got fooled by it and it went right off the glove. But we have seen a lot of catchers go on the disabled list because of foul tips to their mask because of that concussion syndrome. Oh, it hit the handle of the bat. That's exactly what it did. The dark handle of the bat, and that's why it deflected over the glove.
I was going to say, how can you whiff that? I mean, you never see that.
You've seen that before.
You duck and let it hit the umpire is what you do, don't you?
But that's what happened. The foul tip went off the handle of the bat, and that's why Vogt wasn't able to put a glove on.
Colon falling behind 3-1 here to the number 9 man. That's in there for strike 2. Well, certainly Jim Leland liked what he got defensively from Iglesias, who made just 3 errors in 71 games for the Tigers. This one fouled back out of play. Like you talked about the 3-team trade, and it appeared everybody was happy in the deal, and rarely does that happen, but it certainly happened in this case. Jake Peavy, the big part of that deal for the Red Sox. Jose Iglesias, a big part for the Tigers, with Peralta headed on the suspended list for the 50 games he missed, and the White Sox end up with some youngsters as part of that deal. Garcia being the top of that list. This one is fouled off.
Garcia is a good-looking prospect. Of course, we saw him last year in the postseason, and they call him a mini Miguel Cabrera. He's actually bigger than Cabrera, runs better, and he's got hitting potential like Cabrera. But the White Sox got a fixture in right field for a number of years.
Iglesias turning in a pretty good at bat here with 1 down. Payoff pitch from Colon. And slap it foul again.
Heck, you pitched here forever. What was so beneficial pitching in this ballpark for pitchers?
Well, I'll tell you what, I pitch here as a reliever. You know, I wish I would have pitched here as a starter. I'm not complaining, but as a starter, you can go after people, you know, with especially at nighttime. You know, you get behind 3-1, you're not afraid to just let it go and throw the ball out over the plate and let him try to drive it out of here.
Iglesias chops it towards short. Lowry is going to hurry, and he has got it. Iglesias thrown out for the second out of the inning.
Iglesias really runs well. He had 35 infield hits this year, and Lowry had to unload in a hurry. Lowry gets rid of it quickly, but watch the stretch at first base. Derek Barton really goes out there and cuts down the distance and is able to retire Iglesias by about a half a step. perfect throw and a great stretch at first by Barton.
It's a good thing that he charged all the way, Lowry, because Iglesias gets out of the box. That's how he gets all those infield hits.
And 2 down for Austin Jackson, who takes a look at strike 1 from Cologne.
Jackson got the Tigers off and running with that double, and he's prone to strike out, but boy, if he gets off to a good start, he could really settle in and have a big night tonight.
We talked about the speed of Austin Jackson. Led the American League in triples in both 2011, 2012, and last year, the first season of his career, he failed to reach double digits in triples. But of course, plays in that big yard at Comerica Park. This one fouled off to the right. Really the replacement for Curtis Granderson coming over from the Yankees in that big deal.
Now, it was quite an interesting trade, and that too was a 3-team trade that got a Max Scherzer in Detroit, but they like the way Granderson has played for New York. Of course, he's a free agent now, but Austin Jackson's been terrific for the Tigers.
Well, trying to wrap up a 1-2-3 second inning. And this is high.
You know, you see the triples there in Jackson, but it doesn't turn into stolen bases. This Detroit team doesn't run at all. He probably is their quickest guy, but it's the one thing that Detroit does not do, obviously, is run.
On the ground, a big hop out to Sogard at second base, and it is a 1-2-3 second inning for Cologne, but a 3-0 Detroit lead. Well, the innovative stat brought to you by Nissan. And these Tigers pitchers certainly throwing a lot of pitches. Their starters are. It's a good thing for the Tigers, not so much for the White Sox.
I was going to say that jumps out right away. The White Sox. What? I know they have Chris Sale, but who else?
Yeah, they've got Tigers have people that pitch into the 7th inning, and they're going to have to do that throughout this series. One of the weaker parts of their team is their bullpen, especially the middle innings, and all season long they've pitched deep, and their starters are among the best in baseball.
That's certainly what Oakland is going to try to do, is get into that bullpen for the Tigers. They're all about their starters, and as you said, there's some real question marks about the middle portion of relief as far as the Tigers go. And they've had many different changing parts in that regard, and that includes their closer from the beginning of the year. And of course, Benoit doing that job now.
You know, see what happened last year. We talked about Valverde. Remember in the playoffs, right here in Game 4, gave it up, and the Oakland A's almost came back and beat the Tigers, but
things were so bad this year they actually brought him back
right
at one point.
Exactly, forgot all about that.
And the 2 pitches, a swing and a miss, and Scherzer picks up his second K as he gets Brandon Moss. And with more on Max Scherzer, let's check in with David Aldridge.
Well, Buck mentioned it earlier. I mean, look, Scherzer is still primarily a fastball, changeup, slider pitcher, but he says that he really believes he's developed a curve that makes him more effective against left-handed hitters. He says he's studied Jake Peavy, as you mentioned, with the Red Sox now, and how he attacked hitters with that curveball. He said Peavy could slow down the slider that he throws to the point where it was effectively a curve. Scherzer tried it, and after throwing less than 1% of curveballs last season, he's thrown almost 8% of his pitches as curves this season, and opponents only hitting .205 against him during the regular season, Don.
Well, the transformation has been amazing. Whatever he has done, it has worked out incredibly. 21-3 during the regular season, a 2.90 earned run average in 32 starts.
I'm not throwing any curveballs. If I've got his stuff, man, I may throw one every once in a while. Maybe get me over a curveball for
just
strike
to
one.
parade it out there. Let him say, I got a curveball too. Yeah.
Hey, don't forget about this, but I'm not going to throw it anymore.
I can throw it if I want to. I just don't want to.
Well, Cespedes waiting on a 1-1, and he'll line it foul off to the right out of play.
This is a good break for the Oakland A's. They had 4 days off. Cespedes injured his right arm, and there were some questions as to whether or not he would be able to play in the outfield. Terrific defender. Naturally a center fielder, but boy, oh boy, has he been an impact player since the A's signed him.
He got hot in September. He was cold early on. Didn't seem like the same player earlier in the season.
This is line to left. Andy Dirks moving back, and he can't catch it. It's up over his head. One hops the wall as Cespedes is heading for 3. Throw in that direction and be off the mark, and he's got himself a triple.
This was a breaking ball by Scherzer. It wasn't a curveball. I think this is a slider, but he leaves it out over the middle plate. This is an absolute rocket. You see Dirks go back on it. That ball's over his head in a heartbeat. And once it gets away from him, he looks like Puig trying to go to third, doesn't he?
He had 4 triples in the regular season, and he breezed around the bases once Dirks couldn't put leather on that line drive.
I couldn't help but think of Puig because, you know, he's never going to stop.
Very similar players. Cespedes not quite as big as Puig.
That was the first hit of the night for the A's as Reddick stands in and pops it up foul, and that'll reach the seats. You have to wait here in Oakland, as you know all too well. There's plenty of foul ground here.
Everybody always says, hey, Eck, how about the foul ground? Like, that's all I did was give up foul balls that would have been in the seats anywhere else, right? Get out of here. But I would like the pitcher. I wish I had pitcher my whole career.
Some of your teammates took advantage of it, I'm sure.
And I didn't.
Well, Cespedes at third base with 1 down. Reddick down 0-1.
Big run for Oakland right here just to get back in the ball game and let Scherzer know that they're not going to cower to him. Reddick's got to come up with a good pitch, something he can drive at least to the outfield. Take advantage of that triple.
Just hit a ground ball, anything. Just don't punch out.
Swing and a miss. 94 on the moving fastball.
That ball's got some low hump on it. Doesn't seem like much, but it just jumps in there the last foot.
That's where the radar gun is really deceptive. One guy can throw 98 and it's straight with no life, and Scherzer's got a lot of life at 94.
I love late life.
Reddick fouls it off again, stays alive that time. Even harder at 97, talking about velocity. It's kind of a down season for Josh Reddick after a terrific 2012. 226, really the high point average-wise all season for him. That's what he finished with.
Now, he injured his wrist early in the season, and he was battling it all year long.
And a swing and a miss, goes chasing and strikes out. More fastballs from Scherzer. His third K, 2 down.
Remind me of Verlander right there. That's a ball the hardest ball he threw tonight. You talk about 98 miles an hour. Ball's on the outside corner. No chance by Reddick. This is when hump was hump. That ball's there in a heartbeat.
Yeah, especially with 2 strikes, it's very difficult to catch up with that kind of fastball, and Scherzer knows he's got a little bit extra in the tank, and that's the difference. That's why he was able to strike out as many as he did this year.
So 2 down, Cespedes at third base, and here's Stephen Vogt, the catcher for the A's. Oakland carrying 3 catchers on their postseason ALDS roster. And we'll probably see all 3, according to Bob Melvin. It was a swing and a miss for strike 1.
Stephen Vogt's a real interesting story. He almost quit baseball a couple of years ago in the minor leagues. He had torn his labrum. He was rehabbing in January. He told his wife he was ready to give it up, and she said, hey, give it 1 more week. And wouldn't you know it, things turned around for him. 3 catchers, and there's Kurt Suzuki, who they reacquired. Vogt started off his big league career with Tampa Bay last year and went 0 for 25. That extended into an 0 for 32 this year. In fact, he had his first big league hit was a home run back in June.
Started 40 games behind the plate for the A's, appeared in a total of 47 games. And fouls off the 1-1 pitch.
Yeah, this is where Scherzer knows he's got to get another strikeout. He's going for that strikeout. He'll probably elevate a little fastball here and run it up and away. At worst, Vogt's not going to be able to pull it, so he lifts the fly ball to the left, or he gets the strikeout he's looking for.
Scherzer looks fresh tonight, doesn't he? Like he hadn't been out there in a while. He's got extra.
9 days.
Yo.
Vogt gets a piece and stays alive.
Must be nice, huh? Act just to reach back and say, I need 98 right now.
I don't know what that feels like. I thought I was bringing it at 91.
And Scherzer with 3 strikeouts out of the gate already.
Now he throws that changeup. He'll spin himself into the dirt.
Line foul towards the pen.
Surprised at that. They tried to come inside, and Vogt was able to get the head out. I'm surprised they challenged him inside.
He had no chance on anything else. Ready, get set, go. He's swinging.
He got good wood on it.
Well, much different story for Vogt. As far as average, 357 away from O.Co Coliseum during the 2013 regular season. And he gets the start tonight. And lines this to first, and fielder puts it away. Cespedes triples, but is left at third. The Tigers have a 3-0 lead. American League Division coverage on TBS is presented by T-Mobile. Now it's a 3-0 advantage for the Tigers as we head to the top half of the third inning back here at O.Co Coliseum in Oakland, California. And it is Torrey Hunter, Miguel Cabrera, and Prince Fielder 2, 3, and 4 for the Tigers in the inning. Malone bouncing back after giving up the 3 runs in the first with a 1-2-3 second. Swing a foul. It gets a piece of home plate umpire Mark Wagner.
That swing from Torrey Hunter reminds me of the old Torrey Hunter. Guy tried to hit 30 home runs when he played with the Twins and even with the Angels, but he's been a much different hitter this year, hitting in front of Cabrera, just like he was last year hitting in front of Pujols.
Yeah, it's not a bad place to hit when you're hitting in front of 2 of the best hitters we've ever seen. And Torrey Hunter has responded. 313 last year, 304 this year.
In the dirt outside, it's 1-2 now to Hunter. He had 304 in his first season with the Tigers. This is his second career and second straight season hitting over 300.
Interesting how Torrey, this late in his career at 37 years old, has been able to really understand what pitchers are trying to do to him. So he doesn't try to hit all of them. He just knows he only needs one to hit. As a young hitter, you come up and think, well, every pitch is going to be a hittable pitch. And Torrey Hunter learned all throughout his career that all you have to do is hit a couple of them and don't try to hit them all.
This is his 7th postseason, but his first since 2009.
And he jumped at the chance to go to Detroit. He knew where to go.
He's never played in the World Series. Played in the American League Championship Series only twice, 2002 with the Twins and 2009 with the Angels. 1-2, waves at that pitch. Second strikeout for Colon, who's now retired 5 in a row.
He gets Torrey here with a slider, sped up his bat, threw it down and away. Torrey was trying to pull everything in this at bat. Goes fishing.
Yeah, Colon will throw many sliders, but he's got to do something to get the Tigers off his fastball, just to put another pitch in their mind. He'll cut the fastball, sink the fastball, ride it upstairs, but there to finish off Torrey Hunter, he used that hard slider.
And down for Cabrera, hacking at the first pitch, sends it foul. Finished the season with 193 hits, 9th straight season with at least 180 or more. Of course, last year, first Triple Crown winner in the majors since Carl Yastrzemski back in 1967.
Hard to imagine those numbers aren't Triple Crown worthy, huh?
It would be if it wasn't for Chris Davis.
Well, what a season Davis put together. It was the only thing between Cabrera winning another Triple Crown.
I still think that Cabrera will probably get the MVP again.
Especially when you take into account the number of games he played. He played in just 148 games. The fewest ever in a full season. He put up similar numbers this season despite playing in just the 148.
Well, he's got a lot to do with how the Tigers got off to that early start, and he is the guy that they all look to. He and Prince Fielder, a pretty potent 1-2 punch in the 3 and 4 spots in this order.
Colon got the strike call, 2-2 as Fielder waits on deck.
Cologne tries to paint you on that little two-seamer. He hits the outside corner to a right-handed hitter.
Line foul, and we'll do it again, 2-2. Well, we were talking about the AL MVP race and some of the candidates from the American League. Cabrera with a .348 average, 44 home runs, 137 RBIs. Mike Trout with a good season, and Chris Davis with an amazing year, 53 home runs.
Well, if it has anything to do with, a winning team, Cabrera is the only one, and that was the difference last year, if you think about it, between him and Trout.
Line to center, Crisp is there to make the catch, 2 down.
Now the breaking ball that Cologne used to retire Cabrera. Coco Crisp plays very deep in the outfield, and he can go back very well. He has problems coming in on balls, but that was a line drive right to him. And Cabrera using his hands very well, but I still don't see him driving with his lower half. He's been dealing with that hip injury and leg problems. I just don't know that he's going to get his hits, believe me. So I don't know how much he's going to drive the ball.
6 in a row retired by Bartolo Colon. 2 down here in the 3rd inning for Prince Fielder. Fielder bouncing into the 6-4-3 double play in the 1st inning.
Colon wanted that. So did I.
The Oakland infield shifted around a bit to pull. Not as dramatic as some of the teams that Fielder faces. Sogard on the edge of the grass is to the pull side at second. That's really become an important part of the game all around baseball, is the defensive alignments, and hitters become frustrated when they hit a ball on the button and there's a guy standing there, maybe in right field, maybe right up the middle.
This one grounded foul. Amazing how deeply the Oakland A's are playing Prince Fielder at the moment. They're about straight up, but they're pretty deep all the way around.
Buck, you talked about shifting like that, and one guy hits a shift against the shift and you get crazy. And I've been accused of that too, saying, this is just a little too much, but it works.
Yeah.
And that's why everybody does it.
It really works, and they have so much information now. They can track every at bat against all your pitchers, and you can get pretty fine with that defense. And here they cross it up once again.
By the dive of Donaldson into left field. Cespedes quickly to it. New old Fielder to a 2-out single. Breaks up a string of 6 in a row retired by Colon.
Fielder, he's just not a dead pull hitter. Even in this at bat, he was trying to go over there a couple times. High fastball, he lets the ball get to him, get in on him. He throws his hands at it, hits a bullet down the line. Third baseman Donaldson, that's where he normally would be playing, but that ball's by him.
Be interesting to see what happens in his next at bat and how he might straighten up the defense a little bit after that single.
So 2 down, Fielder at first base, and it brings up Victor Martinez for his second at bat against Bartolo Colon. He doubled in the 1st inning. Let's take a look at ball 1.
You're reacting like a pitcher.
Always.
You thought that was a strike, huh?
And I can't say it every time, but
Oh, go ahead.
he's missed a couple already this inning. But they do such a great job, I can't get on him. At least I won't.
You have in the past.
Yeah, a couple times.
That's a strike over the inside corner. Just about the same spot. It's a ball and a strike.
Well, just like the hitters and having patterns, umpires are under a lot of scrutiny now because they have all the pitch tracks and they record every game and they're graded on their balls and strikes, and they're under more pressure than they've ever been in the history of the game.
Off balance, 1-2. Really fooled him.
Yeah, back-to-back changeups by Colon. You don't see that very often. Had him way out front.
Well, we mentioned this lineup tonight against Cologne has hit .324, so you've got to do some different things.
Yes.
Fielder at first, a count of 1-2 to Victor Martinez with 2 down here in the top of the 3rd. swing and a miss. Struck him out to end the inning. Third K for Cologne. Starting to get it together after a tough first that has the Tigers on top 3-0. 3-0. Tigers have the lead as the A's come to bat here in the last half of the third inning. Derek Barton, Eric Sogard, and Coco Crisp anticipated in the inning. 8, 9, and 1 coming up for the A's. And this huge crowd with the top deck opened up here in Oakland. It's been a long time since they opened up the third deck here. And they're expecting better than 47,000 here tonight, and they are loud, waiting to cheer for something right now as their team trails by 3.
Scherzer sort of took him out of the game.
Yeah, they had an opportunity after the Cespedes one-out triple, but Scherzer struck out Reddick and got Stephen Vogt the line out, so he stranded that base runner at third.
There's Derek Barton to lead it off. Let's take a look at strike one. Barton appeared in 8 games in May before being sent down. He resurfaced again in late August and then played in 29 of the final 33 games for the Athletics. At 318 in the month of September.
Barton was initially drafted by the Cardinals, and he came to Oakland in a big deal along with Kiko Calero and Dan Herron from Mark Mulder. And Barton was really a high prospect. They thought he was going to be a perfect Moneyball type player with an on-base percentage, the ability to walk, and it really kind of hurt him.
That's what I remember of him. He
Yep.
was the on-base machine. He walked a ton of times, but he just couldn't hit. But he's found his way back to the big leagues.
Originally a first-round pick of the Cardinals back in 2003. A swing and a miss, evens the count at 2-2.
Yeah, I spoke to him about his year in AAA this season. He said, I finally cleared my head and I got back to what I did as a kid. I started to think about hitting the ball and not getting on base. You can see he was much more aggressive this year once he got back to the big leagues, but got 110 walks for the A's back in 2010.
297 in 110 games at AAA this year as he strikes out looking. 4th strikeout for Max Scherzer. Moments ago, we had the chance to speak with Tigers manager Jim Leyland. Jim, it appears through the first 2 innings, Max Scherzer, more of what you saw during the regular season, appears to be very strong again tonight.
Yeah, he's pretty sharp so far. He got a little bit of a jam there. Everybody's able to get out of it. Yeah, he's throwing the ball well.
Offensively, you look good. The 4 days off maybe did you some good against Cologne.
Well, we came out right off the bat, but we got to keep it going. We can't die after that. We got to keep adding on runs. That's one thing we got to get a little bit better at. So we're gonna have to score some more runs.
Well, Jim Leyland pleased with the way tonight started. The Tigers coming up with 3 runs in the top of the first inning up Bartolo Colon as Eric Sogard takes the strike.
If you remember, they got no hit the last game of the season, right? So they came out like they needed a hit badly the first inning. Jackson goes the other way for a double.
There were no hit by Henderson Alvarez in the last day of the regular season.
Yeah, it was really an unusual no-hitter, and then Alvarez was on deck, and the wild pitch was thrown in the bottom of the 9th that he got to celebrate as a hitter. You can see the fans picking up on Sogard and his glasses. Respect the specs.
They got a lot of stuff going on here.
Nerd power going on. A check swing. Did he go? No, he did not, says Jim Reynolds.
Got Scherzer out there going back and forth. Fastball changeup. Looks like he almost went. He held up. He could have called that.
Sogard grounds one softly left side. Cabrera was in on the grass and he throws him out for the second out here of the third inning. Well, follow the MLB postseason on TBS wherever you go. The postseason.tv. Get alternate camera angles, live batting practice, real-time highlights, and more on desktop and mobile devices. Get postseason.tv now for just $4.99 at MLB.com. 2 down here in the last half of the third inning, and the leadoff hitter for the Oakland A's, Coco Crisp. That's his second at bat of the night. He struck out looking in the first inning. Set a career high this year with 22 home runs, doubling his total from a year ago as he takes ball 1. Previous high had been 16, which he accomplished way back in 2005 with the Cleveland Indians.
He's hit 12 home runs in his last 34 games. First time up, took the count full, took a fastball right down the middle.
He's one of the 4 strikeouts so far tonight for Max Scherzer.
Again, Chris working the count. Trying to get something going for Oakland. He's played in Cleveland, Boston, Kansas City, and now Oakland. And he's probably found a home here in Oakland. It's a good spot for him.
And he'll take ball 4. Was not sure. He waited there. Thought Wegner was going to call it a strike, but heads down to first base. A 2-out walk and the first free pass given up by Max Scherzer.
Wegner has more of a tendency to give you that ball down. This ball was borderline high and away. 3-0, sometimes you get that.
Jed Lowry hit a home run against Scherzer back in Detroit on August 29th. He hit a first inning, first pitch home run, hit a 2-run shot to right and pitched down and in.
Lowry grounded out to first base in his first at bat. And flares this foul off to the left out of play.
See, he ran that ball upstairs trying to stay out of that down and in area, and he got Lowry to foul it off.
Tied him up inside.
Lowry coming to the A's in February as part of a 5-player trade with the Astros. They spent only 1 season. Chris Carter was the main piece that went to Houston from Oakland at the time. Very soft toss to first. Scherzer does not like going over in that direction. You can see it right there.
Yeah, he's quick off the mound, but then he doesn't really put much into the pickoff throw. He's been charged with 3 errors this year. And he's a little tentative when he goes over there.
And here, you can't afford to throw it by the first baseman because it'll go a while.
We're running for days.
You're not going to pick him off anyway, so what's the difference?
A little bit firmer pickoff there. Actually, Scherzer had 4 pickoffs this season. You can see him. This is before he starts his warm-up down in the bullpen, and he's just trying to get into the flow of the game, put his mind in that set position before he even begins his warm-ups.
Lowry takes the strike.
You know how hard it is to hold for seconds, 2-3 seconds when you're on the mound? You're all juiced up.
It's got to feel like forever.
Oh, forever. I should count to myself. Count to 3. I never got to 3.
1, 2, throw.
3.
They get those signs on the bench. They hold, and it takes a long time.
1, 2, 3.
Eck would have already thrown it.
Wow.
Step off. Somebody's got to do something. Step up.
Yeah, that's the hold sign, and that'll all come from the bench. Hold, see if Coco's going to tip his hand. Throw over, side step, step off, pitch out. All kinds of signs come from the bench. Pitchers and catchers used to figure that out, didn't we?
Tony La Russa used to do it all the time. He tells you what to do, and then the bench is yelling at you over there, saying, "What are you doing?" I said, "It's not me. He told me to do it."
0-2 to Lowry's in the dirt. Knocked down by Avila, gets behind him, and Coco Chris broke right away and gets to second. Hesitating there with the ball in the dirt. They get into scoring position with 2 down.
Avila has no chance on this. This is a changeup way up in front of the box. He slides to his right. It just eats him alive. But 2 outs, Coco Chris gets into scoring position.
Second time the A's have had a base runner in scoring position. They left Cespedes at third base in the second inning. Now ground ball softly hit to Infante at second base to end this inning. As Scherzer is out of it again. We're through 3 with the Tigers on top 3-0 in game 1.
It's not right.
3-0. Tigers have the lead. How far does John Smoltz think the Los Angeles Dodgers can go? Watch an all-new Behind the Mic, powered by Ford, at BleacherReport.com/Behind the Mic to find out. And we play along to the top half of the 4th inning with Alex Sevilla, Omar Infante, and Andy Dirks coming up here for the Tigers. They scored 3 times in the top of the 1st inning. It's a difference in this one. Miller reaching on a base hit in the 1st inning. He picked up an RBI. Did he go? No. As I check with third base umpire Tom Hallion. Or rather, Jim Reynolds at third base. Tom Hallion further down the line in left field.
We got enough of them.
There are 6 of them here. There's Tom Hallion down the left field line. Mike Tamuro's down the right field line. And a ground ball into the shift on the right side. Sogard throws out Avila for the first out of the 4th inning. Moments ago, we had the chance to speak with A's manager Bob Melvin. Bob, your thoughts so far on Bartolo Colon? He certainly appears to have settled down after a tough 1st inning.
Yeah, he did. He got some balls up in the 1st. You know, a couple hard hit balls, couple soft hit balls, but he settled in since.
You were able to put Cespedes in left field. That must be a good feeling for you. It gives you a little more versatility on your overall lineup.
Yeah, it does. It also gets us a good defensive left fielder who can cut down the running game, 1st to 3rd, 2nd to home. He's been quite a force since about the middle of last year when he got used to playing left field.
Well, Cespedes out there tonight. A shoulder problem for him, keeping him out of a lot of the games toward the end of the year. And contributed with a triple in this game. It was left at third base. The A's have left a runner at 3rd, left a runner at 2nd. And have not scored here as the Tigers bat in the 4th inning. Omar Infante taking a couple of close pitches, and it's 3-0.
Yeah, Colon wanted that last pitch. He thought that was a strike. You could see his hesitation after he threw the pitch. Now he's got to work all the way back from a 3-0 count.
And it's on the outside corner as Infante gets the bad news from Mark Wagner, the home plate umpire.
He looked like he just aimed that ball on the outside.
He was going to throw a strike right there. In September, when he threw the ball so well, he was really aggressive and really used his legs and got the velocity up to 96. So 89 there. He does a lot of things. It's one pitch, but he can do a lot of things with it.
He hasn't got the velocity tonight. No. Not even close.
No. He threw a couple pitches in the 2nd inning that were 94, but we haven't seen that zip he had in September.
In his playoff career, he is 2-3 with a 3.61 earned run average in 9 starts. 6 of them coming with the Cleveland Indians and 3 with the Angels. He's on the ground left side, and Donaldson to his left spins and fires, not in time. The ball took too long, and Infante beats it out.
Well, Josh Donaldson got a tricky hop, and that took him and made him do a 360, kind of knocked him off balance. Watch right here. It's going to knock him back a little further. He stumbles, and that stumble costs him about a half a stride at first. Infante's able to leg it out despite the good stretch by Barton.
Well, nothing can go wrong if you back up on a ball, and like you said, he stumbled a little bit. And I don't care what kind of arm you have. If somebody can run a little bit, you're going to be safe.
And obviously everybody in this atmosphere is going to bust it out of the batter's box, and every play is going to be bang bang if you hesitate.
Let's check on Infante at first base. Andy Dirks, the batter here for the Tigers, a strikeout victim in the 2nd inning. In the air to left field, Cespedes heads over towards the line and makes the catch for the 2nd out of the 4th inning. Infante back to the bag at first, 2 down.
Cespedes is a terrific defender, as we heard from Bob Melvin. He's a natural center fielder that has had the ability to make the adjustment to slide over to left. He's a great athlete. He can run anything down, and he's got a very strong, accurate arm.
You know, Coco didn't take to move into left field last year. They switched him around, and I think that was the right thing to do for Coco.
Coco didn't commit an error all season long in center. Some people just have the personality to play out there, and he likes the ability to be the quarterback in center field. And he doesn't have a strong arm, doesn't throw well at all, but boy, he can cover some ground.
Like you said, he plays deep. You'll see him make a lot of catches at the fence.
There's Iglesias bunting at the 1-0, drops it down the third baseline. Donaldson was playing in, throws him out to end the inning. The Tigers leave Infante at first base. Good 3.5. It's 3-0 Tigers. MLB Network is your home for another Division Series game Monday. Catch the Oakland A's at Detroit Tigers. Game 3 at 1 p.m. Eastern. And catch live coverage before and after every postseason game only on MLB tonight. 3-0. Tigers have the lead over the Oakland A's as the A's come to bat here in the last half of the fourth inning. 3, 4, and 5 for the Athletics. Donaldson, Moss, and Cespedes. Tough part of the order, but so far no part of the order has been difficult for Max Scherzer. 50th pitch of his outing is in there for strike one.
Donaldson's now 27 years old. He was originally drafted by the Cubs as a first-round pick in 2007. He was a catcher, and he caught 3 games for Oakland last year, but they needed him to play third when Scott Sizemore went down with a knee injury last year. And boy, what a transition he has made.
How do you go from a catcher to be this type of player?
Well, catchers are great athletes.
I mean, the range that he has, you'd never know he was a catcher.
No, he's a terrific athlete, and what he's done at third, just the number of games that he's been able to play, and he's getting better and more confident all the time.
So, Buck, if I got this right, catchers can play anywhere.
Anywhere. Not as well as Donaldson, but anywhere.
That was his first full season in the majors, playing the team high 158 games. This after 2012 when he was with Oakland.
What a year he had. 301. And last year he went back to the minor leagues. He didn't like that call. And you can see he's telling Mark Wegner that he thought it was off the plate outside.
5th strikeout for Scherzer. Donaldson not pleased.
Not sure when he's going to come back and throw that punch out sign on you. He thought that ball was outside. I'm sure that Scherzer thought he caught the corner with a little tail on it, but he had something to complain about.
And Scherzer had 8 games with at least 10 strikeouts during the regular season. Season high was 12, which he did twice. Donaldson still steamed. He's out number 1 of the 4th inning. There's Brandon Moss, who takes strike 1.
What was that? A
curveball.
Yep.
That had to be the first one.
Get me over curveball.
Yes, strike 1.
Yep. Just to plant it in their minds. He won't use it often, but that was effective use of it.
And Scherzer has been ahead of most all night. Falls behind here, though, 2-1.
Boy, he pulls that ball off the glove side a lot. He's been ahead tonight a lot. That certainly puts the A's in a swing mode, but it's really interesting how when he misses to that glove side, he misses badly.
Also fouled back to the screen, evens it at 2-2.
You can see him missing to the glove side when he's trying to get on a pitch, like try to throw it really hard, but when he pulls that changeup, it seems like if you're going to miss with a changeup, it'd be much easier to miss away accidentally. It's hard to argue with the way he's been throwing tonight.
Now, he's done pretty well.
Moss with a swing and a miss, strikes out, back-to-back Ks for Scherzer. That's 6 in all. And the second time, then Moss is down by way of the K.
First time up, he got him with a fastball. This time he gets him with a changeup, and that's what makes Scherzer so tough.
Yeah, this ball is up out over the plate. It's not even a strike. Like you said, he punched him out on a fastball, and then he has him way out front on a changeup. He is confused right now, and this guy's dealing.
Yeah, he's getting better and better with every pitch.
So 2 down here in the 4th inning brings up Cespedes, who tripled in the 2nd inning but was left at third base. It was the best opportunity the A's have had to score in this contest. And he'll foul it off to the right. We talked about his sore throwing shoulder. Played in left field only 1 time over the last 15 games of the regular season, but Starts tonight in game 1 of the ALDS. Played left on the 27th in Seattle, but didn't play in the last 2 games of the regular season. It's in there for a strike. Crowd not liking that. It was a borderline call. Cespedes, 11th Cuban-born player in Oakland history, signed a 4-year, $36 million deal.
Came off a big year in the Cuban National League Serie Nacional in 2010-2011. He had 33 home runs and tied with Jose Abreu, who has just come out of Cuba and is going to be a free agent very soon. They both hit 33 home runs that year.
Remember last year talking about Cespedes not having played that many games. Remember they said he might be tired at the end of the year. You guys were talking about that.
It's a long season for him. Their regular National League down there is 90 games. So it's like a winter league. They play in the winter time. And he has played on the national team. He represented Cuba in the World Baseball Classic in 2009. He and Jose Iglesias played together as kids on the Cuban junior national team. Iglesias played with both Cespedes and Puig, all coming from Cuba. There have been 177 Cuban-born major league players over the history of the game, and obviously it's a great baseball country.
Scherzer trying to strike out the side. And a swing and a miss. He will. Donaldson, Moss, and Cespedes all down by way of the K. It's 3-0 Tigers.
League Division Series coverage on TBS is brought to you by the all-new 2014 Chevy Silverado. Strong for all the roads ahead. And by Budweiser. Great times are waiting. Grab some buds.
On the top of the Tigers order, Austin Jackson leading it off. Torrey Hunter, then Miguel Cabrera expected in the inning. As the 0-1 pitch. Swing a foul tip for strike 2.
Jackson made some nice adjustments since he's joined the Tigers. Lloyd McClendon and Toby Hara, the assistant hitting coach, got him to calm down his leg kick, and that has allowed him to get more consistency at the plate. That's a pretty good pitch.
You just never know when he's going to ring somebody up. I know that Bartolo's got to have that. Made 3 good pitches.
Jackson takes this one a little bit high.
Came out of his delivery there, and that's why he threw it up and out of the strike zone, trying to reach back for a little extra, and that never really works.
And Jackson during the regular season hitting at .296 against right-handers. Overall .272 on the year. And he'll take strike 3. Newitt takes with him the 4th strikeout for Bartolo Colon. It's time for our Goodyear Superior Performance, and we spotlight Gary Cole and the work that he did today for the Pittsburgh Pirates as they're able to come back in that series. He goes 6 innings, giving up just 2 hits and 1 run. He walked 1 and struck out 5 as part of the victory today for the Pirates.
Right back at you, St. Louis Cardinals with a young pitcher. Then the Cardinals have a number of them.
Torrey Hunter tries the bunt with Donaldson at deep third base, and his throw will be late. Well, a bunt single for Torrey Hunter. Took a look, saw Donaldson down the line deep and drops it down.
But Torrey Hunter always plays with his head up, and they peek down at third base. And when you've got a guy like Miguel Cabrera behind you, any way to get on base is going to be a benefit. Donaldson's a great athlete, but Hunter got out of the box in good shape.
That is a blueprint bunt. Maybe a little too hard, but Donaldson got to it. Did all he could to make this play. Hunter safe, easy.
See how athletic those catchers are? He made a heck of a play, but Hunter put down a perfect bunt.
I mean, you could have done that if you wanted to, right? But you just decided to stay behind the plate.
I like catching too much.
Right. You're just too smart. You want to catch.
One out base runner here for the Tigers, and Miguel Cabrera, the batter.
I think they got to pitch Cabrera in just to see if he can turn on something. We've seen what he can do out over the plate. He's hit 2 line drives, a ground ball up the middle for an RBI, line drive to center. If he's having trouble with his hips and legs, he's going to have a tough time opening up those hips and getting to the inside pitch.
Well, he made a mistake there. He threw him a changeup inside.
Would you say the biggest issue with these leg problems that he has had perhaps is the power now?
Oh, no question.
Cabrera.
He's got the best set of hands in baseball as far as getting the barrel to the ball, and he can get the barrel there, but he just can't drive it like he does when he's healthy. I mean, he's a terrific hitter, and maybe one of the smartest hitters we've seen in the last 3 or 4 decades. He really understands what a pitcher's trying to do to him.
Will he ever get healthy this postseason? You wondered.
I don't think so. No, he doesn't have time. You know, you hear different things about a groin, a hamstring, a hip injury, and they're not really clear what it is, but he's hurt, abdominal strain, whatever it is, it's creating a lot of problems for him.
How do you play third base like that? I mean,
you know what he's done? He's playing in just to take a shot. If it's hit at him, he'll catch it.
That's it.
Yeah, he's not going to range for anything.
Did he go on the 1-1? No, he did not. So C.B. Buckner. 2-1.
I thought he went at first look, tried to hold up. That could have went either way.
That could have been called a strike. Anytime it cuts the plane of that home plate. Tell you what, I think batters are very savvy when they use those dark bats. Those things are hard to really tell when you have to make a call if you're first base umpire where that bat is going to break the plane of the plate or not.
Swing and a miss at that, and it was away. 2-2.
That is an ugly swing. Yeah. You never see Cabrera look flat-footed like that.
He's got to use his hands.
Right.
He doesn't have the ability to use his legs to get to that ball.
This ball was thrown right by him. It's away. It's a funky swing.
Yeah, you can see his lower half's not in that swing at all. He's using his hands. I still got to test him inside.
Back outside again.
He won't chase.
He didn't want to leave it either.
Nah.
If anything, I'm yanking it.
He's really good away. When he is healthy, he hits them to right. Al Kaline, the great Hall of Famer of the Tigers that is with the ball club, says he hits the ball as hard to right as I used to pull it.
Check on Hunter, who dives back.
Kaline calls Cabrera the best hitter he's ever seen, and he's seen them all.
This is Cabrera's 4th postseason. With 4 home runs with the Marlins in 2003. And they won the World Series. Hunter takes off, and this is in the air to right field. Josh Reddick makes his way in and puts it away for out number 2.
He just can't drive that ball up and away. He just used his hands, and all he could do is hit a lazy fly ball to right. He's a big man, and he's got powerful hands, but without his legs, he can't drive it like he normally could.
Torrey Hunter to end the inning as we head for the bottom of the 5th inning. It's 3-0 Tigers. The Tigers have the lead, and Torrey Hunter is gunned out at second base by Colon as they get Colon's attention in the infield, and he was taken off, so Lowry applies the tag, and actually he was safe But the question is, where is Torrey Hunter going with Prince Fielder at the plate?
Yeah, it's not a good play. You got Prince Fielder at the plate, and the Tigers aren't a tricky team. You know, they're going to pummel you. They're not going to trick you.
You see the shortstop turned his back, Lowry, and then Hunter took off, and then he may have been safe, but the fact that he went and the throw beat him, you're out.
Yeah, and you know what, with Fielder at the plate, I mean, he is such a dangerous hitter. You know, if he steals it, you say, well, what a heads-up move, but he didn't.
Exactly. So now that was stupid.
Yeah, it's not a good play, obviously, and it might be the spark Oakland needs. Got him out of an inning.
And Josh Reddick, a strikeout victim in the second inning. He's not been alone in that category. 7 strikeouts for Scherzer.
Boy, he's got a great changeup tonight. I mean, to me, that's been a difference in his season, the ability to throw that changeup any time. And he's ironed out some flaws in his delivery over the course of the season. He used to be a max effort guy where he was just trying to air it out and see if he could light up the triple-digit radar gun. But now he understands the value of pitching.
Well, he used to be so violent, his hat would almost come off. You got to keep your head still to have better control, and he's had better control all year long. Obviously, confidence galore, but he can go out there with 2 pitches, you think about it, fastball, changeup.
You were a command guy. How important is it that your head stays on line where you could really drive toward the plate?
Well, I didn't throw as hard as him, obviously. And every time you try to throw too hard, you come out of your delivery. And velocity's not where it's at. And until the last day that I pitched, I wanted velocity, you know, and I'd make a bad pitch saying, why do you want to throw it so hard? Throw it where you're supposed to.
Fouls back the 1-2 pitch.
There are basically 3 components to pitching: location, movement, and velocity. And velocity, in my mind, is probably the least important.
And for as long as I played, I still got off on velocity. That's all I ever talk about. That's why you hear me talk about cheese and hair. And I mean, I love it. I love gas.
Yeah, but your command, I think, you know, as a hitter, I mean, you could paint down and away with anything, and you could do it anytime. You could do it with your eyes closed, I thought.
Yeah, but I was still trying to hump every once in a while. You know, I did. And ask what the gun. You always want to know the gun. Where was I throwing?
I think the gun has created a lot of problems for a lot of pitchers.
Reddick strikes out. That's 8 Ks for Scherzer. Second time Reddick has struck out.
And you look at that pitch, it was 84. Another filthy changeup.
It's a strike. When you throw a changeup for a strike and you get a swing like that, I mean, this guy is filthy.
The effectiveness of his changeup has a lot to do with his arm action and the way he sells it. The hitter sees fastball movement with the arm and changeup velocity, and then the movement takes it below the bat.
1 down here in the bottom of the 5th inning. Stephen Vogt, the batter, and he'll take a look at ball 1 away.
But it takes pitchers a while to really learn how to pitch. When you first get to the big leagues, you imagine that every hitter can hit everything. Well, that's not the case.
It took me 2 years. I tried to max out every time. I threw the ball as hard as I could every pitch. And I walked the house my first year. You know, did all right. But I walked the house. I finally figured it out.
Well, you had great stuff.
Yeah, I'd punch guys out, but I'd walk guys, and I did. You know, I got away with it.
But every pitcher thinks that unless you make perfect pitches, you're going to get hit, and that's not the case. Throw it over. Hitting's hard.
Vogt hits a high fly ball to right field. Torrey Hunter makes his way over towards the line and takes care of out number 2. And 6 in a row retired by Scherzer now, who's given up just 1 hit so far through 4 2/3 innings. That was a triple by Cespedes. Oakland's had only 1 other base runner, Coco Crisp, with a 2-out walk in the 3rd inning. He's been outstanding so far here in game 1 of the ALDS.
He doesn't even have to paint with a changeup. He can just throw it down the middle.
Yeah, no, you don't have
That's
to.
how good that is.
When it's got that kind of movement and the terrific arm action, they're going to swing at the arm action.
Now Derek Martin takes strike one. 75 total pitches here for Scherzer with 2 down in the 5th inning.
When you have 8 strikeouts, you expect to throw more pitches than that.
There's that hook again, huh?
He's thrown 2 of them,
That's
and they've
2.
both been for strikes. You don't have to throw it a lot.
We saw the gas that he had. The best gas he had was when Cespedes was on third base.
Yeah. He struck out a Reddick and then got the line drive to the first baseman. Came out of his delivery there. He got 96, but it wasn't close.
Last year he picked up a no decision in the American League Division Series. Went 5 1/3 in Game 4. Had 1 earned run, 8 strikeouts in that outing. 1-2 pitch. That's away. 2-2.
You know, he's won 21 games this year. They've scored him close to 7 runs a game.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of guys are going to win a lot of games, but that's how, you know, that's what goes into having a great year. You take advantage of, you know, the good fortune that you get, and you punch people out just to stay in shape all night.
9 strikeouts just to stay in shape for Scherzer. He's got a 3-0 lead. American League Division coverage on TBS is presented by T-Mobile. Now back at O.co Coliseum in Oakland, California, where the Tigers scored 3 times in the first inning and enjoy a 3-0 advantage as we head to the top half of the 6th inning. Prince Fielder was batting when Torrey Hunter was caught stealing to end the 5th inning, so he leads it off here in the 6th. And hits one out to left field. Cespedes backpedaling for the first out of the inning.
Well, the A's certainly have enough offense to get back in this ball game when you think about home runs and the balance in the attack. Detroit has spread it out tonight. 7 hits from 7 different batters, but Oakland has that same kind of offense. They don't have to lean on one guy. And I think they have the ability to erase this 3-run deficit in a heartbeat. Now Colon appears to have great control of the strike zone now.
He's come around, but the problem is Scherzer. I mean, he's been going after people with strike one, making them swing the bat. So that patience has not paid off.
Well, Prince Fielder out number 1. Victor Martinez, a 1-for-2 night as he doubled back in the first inning. That was part of that 3-run first for the Tigers. 3-1 average during the regular season for Martinez.
Well, the Tigers have made big commitments to so many of these players. Of course, they brought Cabrera over in a trade and then extended his contract. They brought in Victor Martinez, and fortunately he missed last year. And then last year they brought in Prince Fielder for a 9-year contract. They have made big commitments to the ball club.
And that was a last-minute thing. When Fielder went to Detroit, my jaw dropped. I didn't even think they were in the running.
Well, Victor Martinez at that point found out he was going to be out for the season, and Mike Ilitch, the great owner of the Tigers, said, you know what, we got to go out and replace him, and boy, did they ever.
Martinez laces this foul. He's out ahead of it. Fouls it down to the Tigers' pen. 0-2 to Martinez.
This crowd has had nothing to clap about. You talk about right all of a sudden the 0-2 pitch. They're coming alive a little bit.
They've been quieted tonight by Max Scherzer. He's allowed just 1 hit on the night. Malone's been very good since the first inning. A tough first inning, giving up 3 runs.
There's that swing back fastball he uses to left-handed hitters trying to catch that inside corner. Just didn't move enough. Tigers scored 4 runs in their final 4 games of the season. They were really scuffling down the stretch. In that last 3-game series, they were swept by Miami, including that no-hitter.
Victor Martinez, who mentioned he missed all of 2012 with a left knee injury, rebounded in a big way this year by playing a career-high 159 games in 2013. And a 301 average during the regular season, 7th season of 300 or better last 8 years.
And Detroit did what they had to do against the Cleveland Indians. That's who they beat up all year long.
I want to think the Indians ended up just a game behind them by year's end.
It wasn't that close.
Upstairs. When you look at the record 15-4 against the Indians, I mean, they really slapped them around and said, you guys aren't ready yet for prime time.
Totally. They swept them in Cleveland. That was the killer for the Indians at the time.
The Indians had a great season. They came out of nowhere, and Terry Francona certainly did a heck of a job of bringing that club together.
Martinez lifts it down the left field line, and this will make its way foul and into the seats.
You know, the Indians were another great example of putting together character. They brought in Giambi, they brought in Nick Swisher. They got Yan Gomes from the Blue Jays, a backup catcher that turned out to be their everyday catcher. And they did a nice job with the pitching staff. When Masterson went down, they had guys that step up. Zach McAllister and Danny Salazar pitched well down the stretch. Had a good year.
Because I thought at the start of the year, Jimenez, he looked so bad early on in the season. I thought he was done, and boy, did he turn it on.
A good battle here for Victor Martinez against Bartolo Colon. Again, the 2-2. 8th pitch of the at-bat misses up top. Colon during the regular season 18-6 with a nifty 2.65 earned run average. Going back to the gas away. 3-2 pitch. And a ground ball up the middle into center field. Quite an at bat for Victor Martinez, his 2nd hit of the game.
Both of his hits have been with 2 strikes, another quality he had before the injury.
MLB Fan Cave is back in 2014. Players, celebrities, concerts, and more. You can be part of next season's team. Go to MLBFanCave.com and apply now. A 1-out single for Victor Martinez here in the top half of the 6th inning, and brings up Alex Avila. This big crowd has been quieted by the Detroit Tigers so far tonight. Avila had an RBI single back in the 1st inning, 1 for 2.
Colon's got to be careful with Avila. 5 for 10 off him with a couple bombs.
Yeah, and Avila is back to where he was a couple of years ago when he was an all-star. He can drive the ball out to the opposite field. He doesn't have to be perfect and try to pull everything. He's got some pop to the other way. Just 26 years old, and he had a tough season with injuries.
2 different stints on the DL. A forearm contusion, and again in August was on the DL with concussion symptoms.
We've seen so many catchers dealing with those concussions on the foul tips, and they've all gone to that titanium mask or the hockey style mask, and they do it for comfort, but because the titanium's so hard, it doesn't give, and it transfers the force of that blow into your head, and there have been so many concussions. I think a lot of the catchers are going to go back to that old style steel mask that's heavier and more uncomfortable, but certainly takes the brunt of the force of that foul tip.
You think there would be, like, is there more foul tips? Somebody was talking about these pitchers are so you know, great gas and so many great pitches that hitters just barely flick it and foul balls off. That's a little much.
3-0 pitches in there, first strike to Avila. Sevilla, an all-star starting catcher for the American League back in 2011 in the All-Star game.
Had a great year that year, hit 295 with 19 home runs and drove in 82. And last year he dealt with knee problems and never really got his stroke all season long.
Fouls it back, full count now.
So many clubs are looking for offensive production and a good game caller and a handler of the pitching staff. It's hard to find that combination. Avila is pretty close. He does a great job of leading this pitching staff.
He's very good at throwing out base runners last year. 34 runners he threw out in 2012. Second straight season he had led the American League in that category. 3-2 is sharply hit past Lowry at shortstop and into center field. Martinez, who was running on the pitch, takes second base. Does not advance any further, but the Tigers now have runners at first and second with one down.
I think because Martinez was running, he got Jed Lowry moving. And because Lowry was moving, it took him a little bit off balance and he couldn't make a play on this. See how Lowry had moved his feet and it took him out of position. When that ball was hit, it was really a one-hopper that if he's anchored, he's got a shot to make a play on it. But he had moved to cover second with Martinez moving.
That was hot. That ball was sizzling over there. He's got to get that on a clean hop.
So 2 on, 1 away, and Omar Infante the batter. Chance here for the Tigers to add on to their 3-0 advantage here in the 6th inning. And look at the breakdown for Colon tonight. And no change really for him. 81% fastballs so far for Colon, which is pretty normal for him, sometimes more. This is through the right side into right field, a base hit. Victor Martinez being waved around. The throw from Reddick is going to be close, and he will be out at the plate. Reddick guns him down from right field for the second out of the inning.
That is a huge out for the Oakland A's. Reddick known for this, a base hit the other way by Infante. You know that Martinez is running. They send him. I didn't think it was all that bad of a call to send him, but a throw all the way in the air. Good tag by Vogt. You see the slide by Martinez trying to slide away from the tag, but the throw's there in time to nab him. What a big play by Reddick.
Reddick won a Gold Glove last year. He had 15 assists in 2012. This year he had 9. He's not getting that many opportunities as his reputation has spread that he is accurate with his throwing arm. He makes a terrific throw to cut down the runner at the plate.
Vila took third, Infante at first. Here's Andy Dirks. And it is blocked by Vogt.
See the throw by Reddick all the way in the air. Air mails it all the way to Vogt. Nice slide by Martinez, but the throw beat him. Once again, the speed of Detroit gets him.
Colon trying to get out of this jam here in the 6th inning. Preserve what is a 3-run deficit here for the Athletics.
Well, if you run just a little bit right there, you're safe, easy.
Well, and the one thing, too, if you're Stephen Vogt and that slide gets underneath you, he had a chance to block the plate and just tried to swipe tag. He's fortunate. There you see Dan Otero loosening up for Oakland, but boy, there was a chance for Vogt really to make a statement, block the plate, cut down a run, leave no doubt about whether he's safe or out.
Dirks will pop it up left side of the Oakland infield. Donaldson puts it away. Colon is out of the jam in the 6th inning. The Tigers threaten but do not score. Detroit on top, 3-0.
League Division Series coverage on TBS is brought to you by USAA, proudly serving the financial need of current and former military members and their families. And by Mazda. We believe if it's not worth driving, it's not worth building.
They roll into the bottom of the 6th inning back at O.J. Coliseum in Oakland. With the Tigers on top 3-0. And work to do here for the Athletics. Eric Sogard leading it off here in the 6th inning. He grounded out to third base in the 3rd inning. He's only bad against Scherzer tonight. And he will pop it up. His second AB is Iglesias. Puts it away for the first out of the 6th inning. Let's check in with Keith Olbermann in our Atlanta studios. Keith?
Don, time for a Bank of America game break. Controversial finish in Atlanta as the tying run of the 9th. D. Gordon of the Dodgers caught stealing maybe the second tag attempt by shortstop Andrelton Simmons suggests even he had doubts. Craig Kimbrell walks 2 in the 9th, but the Braves beat LA to even the series. Full highlights after the game. Don?
All right, Keith, thanks. Back here at O.J. Coliseum in Oakland. The Tigers enjoy a 3-0 advantage. One out here in the 6th inning. Coco Crisp standing in. He struck out in the 1st inning, walked in the 3rd, and shows bunt, drawing the attention of Miguel Cabrera down at third base.
We mentioned Cabrera has played in all night long, just trying to get himself in the best position with that abdominal strain. He's not really moving around all that well, so he has really played in and really made specific movements at third just to try to position himself as well as possible.
I think that's an area where the A's may try to take advantage of him.
Yeah, if he's playing back, they're going to test him because they know he's not moving around, so he's taking that away. It's kind of like what Pete Rose did to Mickey Rivers in the World Series years ago.
76.
Came way in and just took the bunt out of his mind.
Chris will take the strike.
It's a big weapon for Coco Crisp, and right now he can't even consider it.
Get the call there, and it's 3-1. Scherzer with 9 strikeouts in the game tonight. Is this crowd trying to get the A's going here in the bottom of the 6th inning? That's a strike, and it's a full count.
Well, he's made him work. Sogard swung at the first pitch.
Chris will get a 1-out walk. Second time that he's got a free pass in this game from Scherzer. Just the 3rd base runner of the night for the Oakland A's.
Shortstop, number 8,
As we check our pitch tracks, Scherzer has been ahead of 15 of 19. And the first pitch strikes on the night.
Not only does he throw first pitch strikes, if he can put you away, he threw Coco a 3-2 changeup right on the corner. He didn't offer.
Yeah, and Oakland wants to be a patient club. They want to work the count, but when you're pitching ahead, as Scherzer does, it puts the hitters in a swing mode.
1 out, 1 on for Jed Lowry. Lowry has grounded out twice. Once to first, once to second.
Strange strike zone tonight.
Yeah, it's been a little inconsistent.
Third postseason for Jed Lowry. Away again, 2-0. This A's crowd badly wants back into this game again.
This is the time to get loud. Bounce around.
Swing and a miss for Lowry and a big cut. He was thinking fastball got it, but it was headed downward.
And that looks like a happy zone for a left-handed hitter, but that ball had some hump on it.
Yeah, you get a pitch like that from Scherzer, who has been spot on all night. You better not miss it.
First and diving back is Crisp. Lead got extended a little bit, and Scherzer noticed. A's are looking for just their second hit of the night. Lowry hits a fly ball down the left field line. Andy Dirks headed towards foul ground. He will drop the baseball and foul ground. By the bullpen. He got there, got a glove on it, but he can't come away with it.
He went a long ways for this ball. He had a beat on it at the last minute. He gets a glove on it, but he stumbles. That's his home plate. That's not a pitcher's mound down there. A great attempt by Dirks.
Yeah, it sure is a good attempt, but you get down there, there's a lot going on. The two catchers had to peel out of the way. You're getting closer and closer to the seats, and he knew he was getting close. He got to it. Unfortunately, it popped right out of his glove.
Most ballparks, that's in the seats anyway.
It's Jed Lowry, another opportunity here. And Lowry lines it to left. Dirks will have another chance, and he puts this away. Liner right at him for the second out. And Crisp back to the bag at first with two away.
There haven't been many well-hit balls tonight, and that one was well hit, but right at Andy Dirks. Scherzer's been really disrupting the timing of the hitters with that fastball changeup combination.
And he's pausing in between pitches there with Coco on first base. But you know, Coco can't afford to get thrown out. You can't mess around when you got this guy at the plate.
Crisp only had 21 steals this year, and it had a lot to do with the development of Donaldson as a hitter and the fact that Cespedes is right behind him. You don't want to run into outs when you've got guys that can leave the yard.
So two down, Crisp at first base, and Josh Donaldson 0 for 2. And a throw over that has Crisp crossing over to get back to the bag. A's have only left 2 on. They have only 1 hit through 5 2/3 innings. Donaldson takes the strike.
I think a lot of times the pitcher just sort of messes with the hitter's timing. You know, you take so long, throw over a couple of times, hold the ball for a while. Hitters get so anxious.
Yeah, there's a lot of energy right now in this situation for Donaldson, and Scherzer appears to have his emotions in check. He's in control right now.
And time called very late. Scherzer was about to deal.
He's going to throw the ball when I want to throw the ball.
Yeah, he has certainly dictated the tempo of this ball game. He's been doing it all year.
Off the outside edge. And Scherzer with 2 outs here in the 6th inning. And a 1-out walk to Coco Crisp is being held on at first by fielder. Oakland trying to get their offense going for the first time tonight. in the dirt, and Avila able to block it. No advance for Crisp at first.
Donaldson just won't offer that breaking ball down and away. Last time up, he got punched out on a fastball that he thought was up and away.
Yeah, Donaldson has done a much better job of laying off that breaking pitch. Last year he chased it, and he was very vulnerable to that. And that's a big area that he has improved upon.
Throw to first, and Crisp kind of flinched there at first, did not react right away, but he does get back.
Because to me, there's no reason to even mess around with Crisp at first base. This is all about dictating, like you said, the timing to home plate. As long as it doesn't mess you up, which it hasn't so far. It's a big pitch right here.
Fouled it off to the right and over races fielder towards the seats. He will not have a play.
Yeah, it doesn't appear as though Crisp wants to run. I think he just wants to draw attention. But to me, Scherzer has maintained his focus on Donaldson, and that's what you have to do. If it's a 2-run home run, you're still up by 1.
He just threw him an ugly changeup that he kind of got away with.
Yeah.
See if he tries to challenge him somewhere here. Fastball down and away. No, he's going in.
Now Crisp is running, a swing and a miss as Donaldson strikes out. That is 10 strikeouts for Max Scherzer, who's now through 6 with a 3-0 lead.
So light 'em up. The Braves are on fire. Another dramatic finish. Dominant right from the start.
Holy smokes, what a catch.
But not satisfied. Wanting and needing more. Freeman. It's gone. Upton. McCann. And a closer extraordinaire. He blew him away. The Braves are back.
The National League East Division champions.
We play for October.
Tigers have a 3-0 lead as we get ready for the top of the 7th inning. Well, to get exclusive behind-the-scenes access and expert opinion from the biggest names in sports, check out Behind the Mic, powered by Ford on BleacherReport.com/BehindTheMic. They play into the 7th inning as Jose Iglesias leads it off against the new Oakland pitcher. As Dan Otero checks in here for the Athletics in the 7th inning after 6 innings from Bartolo Colon. Iglesias chops it off the plate foul.
There's his signature pitch, a little sinker. Throw a ton of those. Got a good changeup too. It's a nice find by the Oakland A's to get Dan Otero. They got him from the Giants.
And selected off waivers twice in 2 days near the end of March. First by the Yankees from the Giants, and then by Oakland. And he was a big surprise. 1.38 earned run average as offer to that pitch for a strike. 1-2 now to Iglesias. Of his last 29 appearances for Otero, he had an ERA of just 0.76, hosting 26 scoreless outings. Originally a 21st round pick of the Giants in 07. Bartolo Colon going the first 6 innings in this game and on the hook as he gave up 3 first inning runs and then settled down after that, got out of a jam in the 6th inning.
That play by Reddick, though, that inning would have continued. If he's safe at the plate, this game could have been over.
Yeah, he was able to throw out Victor Martinez with a terrific throw to Stephen Vogt, who put the tag on Victor Martinez. And you know what? You save a run and you keep your team within a 3-run home run. That's a big play. And no telling where the inning goes after that if Martinez is safe.
Otero missing outside, much to the chagrin of these Oakland A's fans. Full count now. Trying to get a bat turned in here by the number 9 man in the Tigers order. This one fouled off.
Iglesias came out of the gates with the Red Sox this year, hitting over 400 for about a month, whatever it was. By the time he got traded, I think he's hit over 250 since he's come over here to Detroit. Came back down to earth a little bit. You wonder if he'll ever hit. You know, and what do you have to hit when you play that kind of defense?
A broken bat liner that is picked in the air by Donaldson at third base. The first out of the 7th inning.
This ball isn't really stung. You thought it was a line drive, but it got him on the label a little bit. Easy play for Donaldson. Just pick it off the ground.
Well, first out here of the 7th inning. Back up to the top of the order for the Tigers for Austin Jackson. He doubled to get it started in the first inning. As he pops it up, foul ground. Martin in, foul ground. 2 down. Well, heck, he suffered a loss here in between innings here at Oakland Coliseum. It looked like he started fast, but faded fast with Ricky Henderson beating you out here in the end.
It's kind of nice to have something like that for you, but boy, I'm not going that good.
Look at that.
I mean, I'm not talking about the trot. I'm talking about that mug, man. That is a million right there.
That's a bad head.
That's a bad horn. That's a bad horn. My stash is not going that good. But it's cool, though. I mean, come on. I mean,
You got the good moss there, though.
That's got great moss.
I guess. Yeah, I'll take that.
A lot of moss.
You're right. You got a bad beak. I don't know
Yeah,
what that is.
didn't I?
It's a bad beak.
Yeah, it's a bad horn is what it is.
But that's pretty cool, though.
Isn't that?
That's awesome.
I mean, that's special, man, when they do that. That was one of the, I mean, a day I'll never forget when they retired my number. It's a beautiful thing. I don't come back here enough to check it out.
Chopper to third base. Donaldson gathers and throws. And it's a 1-2-3 7th inning. 7th inning stretch in game 1 of the ALDS. Tigers on top 3-0. Back at O.Co Coliseum in Oakland. Well, we expected this to be a good one tonight. Max Scherzer 21-3 during the regular season, and tonight he is not disappointed. He's been outstanding.
I mean, this is vintage Max Scherzer. I'll tell you what, 10 punch outs. He's had his fastball and changeup for the most part. You haven't seen a curveball here and there, a couple sliders, but you see right from Jump Street, he punches out Coco on a 3-2 fastball. You see the kind of velocity that he has, and you know, he only walked one guy, that's Coco, and made everybody look silly. I mean, he's had his way with the Oakland A's tonight.
He was able to pitch around the one-out triple to Cespedes, and I think that really got him into the flow of the game. And he's had his power, he's had his command, just the one hit, and that was the Cespedes triple. But he has certainly punctuated his season with a great start to the postseason here tonight.
Well, he's got a 10 strikeout performance. He's about to face a guy that he has struck out twice tonight. And he's thrown 96 pitches through the first 6 innings as he gets this 7th inning started. Mentioned the strikeouts from Moss. Struck out swinging in the 2nd, again in the 4th inning.
You have a performance like this from Scherzer, and Verlander's hovering tomorrow night.
Yeah, and he's going to go up against Sonny Gray, who's a rookie, and Sonny Gray's got electric stuff. But at the same time, you have to remember last year, Oakland was down 0-2 and came back and made it a 5-game series. So there's a lot of character in that clubhouse, yeah, and they're not giving up on this game, nor are they thinking that if we don't win this one, we're done. There's a lot of fight in that Oakland's roster.
And Moss pops it up, foul ground, as Cabrera gives chase, but that'll land harmlessly in foul ground. Double-barreled action now for the Tigers. Alvarez and Smiley both warming.
You know that Leland wants to get through this 7th inning. Scherzer's going to have to mess this up to come out of this game.
Yeah. Now, he's got plenty in the tank. He hasn't thrown 100 pitches yet, and he's dealing. Another great changeup. Well, one thing I used to ask myself as a manager when you're thinking about a pitching change is the guy on the mound better than the guy in the bullpen? And Max Scherzer has been better than anybody in the ballpark tonight.
As you saw, Al Albuquerque warming in the pen now for the Tigers. 0-2 is bounced in.
Boy, he almost drilled him on a changeup that he yanked all the way across the zone. Hayes would have loved this hit by pitch right here to lead off this inning.
That's a pretty easy one to take if you're a hitter. It's in the dirt, it's going to bounce. It's not going to have that normal sting, but it's hard to react to something like that.
And Moss softly grounds it past the glove as Scherzer. Iglesias throws high. And pulled fielder off the bag, and reaching is Moss at first to get this 7th inning started for the A's.
Any way to get on base. He doesn't hit this changeup very hard over the head of Scherzer. And you see Iglesias charge this ball and make a flip. He's made this play earlier in the year, one of the greatest plays of the year. He couldn't duplicate it to throw up too high. But a great attempt by Iglesias. Leadoff base hit by Moss.
Just the second hit of the night for the A's, their first hit since the 2nd inning.
Cespedes has gotten big hits for them all season long. He hit a bullet triple to the wall in left, and now he's got a chance to really make an impact here.
Take ball 1. Up over 100 pitches now is Scherzer at 101. Scherzer falls behind 2-0.
You see how patient Cespedes is right here with a 2-0 pitch.
26 home runs during the regular season for Cespedes.
You got to throw him a piece of cheese right here, don't you?
Yeah.
You can't be throwing a changeups.
Cespedes fouls it off. That got a big piece of Avila.
Boy, it sure did. I mean, it hit him square in that mask. And he dealt with a concussion earlier, and certainly the trainer's not going to hesitate. Kevin ran the trainer out to check on his catcher.
Well, that's the last thing the Tigers want to see. He got hit good.
Especially when you've dealt with a concussion earlier in the season, chances of recurrence of that symptoms they're very concerned about.
Once again, a big swing with a fastball, 95-mile-an-hour fastball, foul tipped right in your jaw. Boom.
Second time in 2 seasons this year that he's missed games due to concussion issues.
There have been a lot of catchers all around baseball. David Ross was out. Joe Mauer's been out at the end of the season. Mike Matheny, the manager of the Cardinals, had his career end because of repeated foul tips and concussions.
See if he challenges him again.
Cespedes grounds it foul.
What a weapon.
Yeah, we haven't seen that slider in a long time.
No, but it's a weapon when everybody is pumped up. You go softer and take advantage of the adrenaline of the hitter. Cespedes wants to do something dramatic here, and Scherzer's thinking things so clearly that he goes a little slider and gets him off the end of the bat.
He's been in control all night long.
2-2 pitch. Cespedes hits one high and deep to left field. Dirk's looking up and it is gone. A 2-run blast for Yoenis Cespedes, and Oakland back within a run.